Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to KUMB TV's Eyes Up Mother Brown. We are back once again for West Ham United's latest Premier League excursion. This time it's to Old Trafford we go for Manchester United versus West Ham United. The Hammers in great form at home in the Premier League lately. Not been so hot away from home, but we're hoping to resurrect that this afternoon, of course. There we go. There we go. Old Trafford. Going to be joined by a couple of the team this afternoon. Gnome's in, Nick's in as well. Just going to get the guys in just a second. Bear with me. Let's move across a bit there. Over to there. We're going to get Gnome in right about. How are you? How the devil is everybody? Hope you're all keeping well. And looking forward to this afternoon's game. It promises to be. There he is. There's Gnome. On the telly. How you doing, Gnome? Good to see you.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Evening all.
Excellent, excellent. It's afternoon. It's not even. I know the clocks have gone forward, but they're not gone forward
quite. I was referring to your habitual lateness.
All right. Well, unfortunately, unlike the rest of you, haven't sod all to do on a Sunday. Some of us have been working since 8 o'clock this morning. I'll have you know, young man. But
some of us were in a car at 7:30 this morning on our way home. So
shouldn't have stayed out so late last night, should you? You dirty stop out. No sympathy whatsoever. Anyway, here we are. You were hoping to be up there today, Gnome, of course.
I was, yeah. Unfortunately, my beloved has torn ankle ligaments. So this weekend was devoted to running her about the place. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, now I spoil that woman. Yeah, it's her birthday on Thursday as well. So
goodness gracious, goodness gracious. Please pass on our love and best wishes.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
Yes, we're just waiting for young Nicholas to join us as well. He's just connecting to audio.
He's like,
we have indeed.
Hello.
There he is.
Better late than never.
There we go. Let's just pull you up on the screen there, Nick. Good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah. Oh, a bit close to Gnome. Oh, there we go. That's better. Smell it now. Smell it, mate.
There we go. I'm going to move over this way. Hang on. A little bit of movement. A little bit of a shuffle. There we go. Gnome's taking centre stage this afternoon. We're going to put him in the middle. Yeah. So Manchester United versus West Ham United. Here we go then. The game has commenced. What are we thinking this afternoon, team? Anyone fancy a win today? Preview Percy did. Of course, yeah, David Moyes' record at Old Trafford isn't particularly great, is it, Gnome? Was Percy aware of that when he made that prediction?
Record today to be broken. Yeah. I think we're going to win this. We're going to win this 1-0. There you go.
Fancy it, 1-0 today. Yeah. Good stuff. Nick, how are you feeling about this one?
Oh, this Old Trafford, it's away. Doesn't matter who the manager is. We're going to come off to a dodgy decision. Ronaldo's playing, so he's going to score. Rashford needs a goal to get to 100 Man United goals, so he's going to score. So I don't think we're going to win this.
Okay, give us a prediction, if you will.
We're going to lose.
No, come on. I want to score today.
Oh, for God. Well, it's going to be 2-1.
To Man U.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna split the difference then. I'm gonna go for a goalless draw. There you go. What about that? What about the rest of the team? Good to see some of the regulars join us live on the chat. We've got Polaroid, we've got Craven, Rob, Hobo. Who else have we got? Dan, Andy. Good to see you guys. AGXM, good to see you. And everyone else joining us live on the stream. Don't forget to get involved. It's always backwards. I can never quite get this back down there. Comments. Have you say no?
Well, sorry, just Ben Rama had we're 2 minutes and 3 seconds in. Ben Rama was on the break there. Loose ball from Man United, played through to Ben Rama to Skamaka, who fed Ben Rama. Nice ball. Ben Rama really didn't make the best of that. Went inside and hit it straight against the defender. So, but a bright start. We've been in there half as much as they've been in ours so far in the 2 minutes, 25 seconds that we're doing the time check.
There you go. Good stuff. As I was just saying there, West Ham's record, of course, isn't the greatest at Old Trafford. Oh, David Moyes' record isn't the greatest either. David Moyes, 20 years as a manager, never won at Old Trafford in a league match. Of course, we did win up there in the Carabao Cup last year. So hoping for more of that. West Ham, only 2 wins in the Premier League era, or Premier League or Premiership era. 2001, Jermaine Defoe scoring the only goal in a 1-0 win. And of course, that incredible game that I'm sure we'll come on to at some point in May 2007 when Carlos Tevez scored the only goal that kept West Ham up, of course, as everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
No.
Just seen that Ben Rama chance. He really, really, really should have done better there. Really should have done better. He was clean through. Took too long. And the story of Ben Rama, really, just too many touches and making the wrong decisions. But it's promising. So hopefully we can capitalise on the fact that, you know, we just tore them open through the middle. So that is promising signs, but yeah, wasted. We're not going to get many of those.
No, it's chances are almost certainly going to be at a premium this afternoon. Let's have a look at some of your predictions. Dan Spencer going for a 3-0 win to West Ham. That's what we like to hear, Dan. A little bit of confidence, maybe too confident, but we'll take that anyway. Rob Young going for a 1-1 draw. Polaroid 1-0 West Ham win. Smash and grab masterclass, says Polaroid. And Craven going for a 2-0 defeat. So a nice little mix of predictions there. But anyway, let's see how it unfolds. We're just coming up to the end of the 4th minute. As Steve Palmer says, Benny, with too many touches, never.
Well, no comment. It's his decision making. I think, you know, there are times when you think there's a great pass on, they lay it off and he take it on, and then he'll lay it off when you think he really should take on the player. But Manchester United just had a chance there, cross coming from the right, low cross. I can't remember who it was now, but it was scuffed wide anyway. And now we're going to free kick, sort of midway into the Manchester United half. And so you want to stick me for a minute, see if we can get this into the box. Doesn't look like we're going to try it at the moment. I think we're going to play it short, yeah. So carry on then, as you were. I thought they might be pouring one into the box there. But tell you what we haven't done.
No worries. Yes, what haven't we done?
We haven't done the teams yet.
Oh, they're up there now. Look.
Oh, right.
Well, behind us.
I went to the effort of getting them out, but no, don't want me.
It's a new thing. I don't know if you've been the last, but we try and put the teams on the screen so they're everyone can see exactly who. Well, you feel free to read them out now in your usual capacity. And why not? To be fair, and I should stress, if people are watching this on a mobile, they probably can't read them. So go through them anyway. So let's see what we've got.
Right. Well, the home side start as follows. In goal, they've got De Gea, then Dalot, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Ericsson, Elanga, Fernandez, Rashford, and Ronaldo. And we line up as follows. Goal, Fabianski. Hang on a second. There's Elanga. I think that was Elanga. Just got through, but sorry, just have a look at that. Yeah, it was Elanga. Long ball played from the back there that beat the offside trap. Elanga. First touch really didn't help him, and it was, well, not so much a shot as a little tap wide there. Sorry, where were we? Fabianski in goal. Kehrer, Dawson, Zuma, and Cresswell across the back. Souček, Rice, Bowen, Downs, Benrahma, and Scamacca. And on the bench, we got Johnson, Supal, Fornals, Antonio, Lanzini, Areola, Ogbonna, Coventry, and Emerson. And referee today is Chris Kavanagh.
Beautifully done. Thank you for that. Now, we just saw Manchester United have a shot. It's a long ball over the top for, I'm not sure who that was. That was Elanga. Elanga. And he's not called it properly. He's scuffed it completely. And Fabianski watches it roll wide of his left-hand post. But, pretty even stuff so far, Nick. We're pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's 6 minutes gone and we're not losing. Everything's a bonus.
Always good. Always good. There was another game earlier today. Arsenal played Nottingham Forest. Happened to catch the last half hour or so of that, and Forest were absolutely taken apart at will in the second half by Arsenal. I think it ran out 5-0 winners in the end. Jesse Lingard substituted towards the end of that game, walking off in some disdain at the decision. I think throwing his some kind of armbands he had on, threw them to the turf as he walked off a little bit petulantly. But it's not working out for Jesse Nome, is it, at Forest this year at all?
Apparently not. How sad, never mind.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Pint of bothered, please. Yeah. Had his chance, blew it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're in dreadful trouble. Certs to go down, do we think, Nick, for us this year?
Hopefully, yes. I would find that quite amusing. Yes. But they seem to pull the odd result out of the bag, though, didn't they? So it is tight, as in that's tough down at the bottom.
Yeah, it is actually. If you look at it down there, there's not a lot of points. I mean, of course, our defeat of Bournemouth last week took us from 17th to 11th, and it is very, very tight down there.
I mean,
and you can.
Yeah. This season, with the we've had just the one international break, I think it is, but with the World Cup sort of looming ever closer, it's kind of disjointed. And it doesn't seem we've got going, does it? I mean, maybe that's just me. It just seems, there's a sort of an air of stop-start about it all. And because we had the international break, we also had the postponements due to the Queen's passing. So it's been a very sort of busy season, and it's been difficult to get. I mean, especially for us to get a run of form, if you like, going, and which is we're just beginning a sort of sort of look a bit better, shall we say?
Yeah, it would be sod's law, wouldn't it, for us to just hit a rich vein of form and for the season to kind of
the World Cup.
That would be typical. But what is that now, Nicky? That's 6 wins in a row, isn't it, at home, following Silkeborg on Thursday?
Something like that. I do believe it is. Yes, we need to. It's the away form that is concerning, and there's only so long. So many times you can say we've been unlucky, we ain't got the rub of the green, and decisions haven't gone our way. It's up to us to get the ball in the back of the net, without giving a referee or VAR something to think about. And I think that's been one of our problems, as we've seen in the past few games, where we've had a horrendous amount of shots, and very little on target, which kind of sums up our season. And while I'm here, I want to say hi to my little fan on the chat as well.
Hi, Nick's fan.
My little fan.
Yeah, as I just said, hi, Nick's fan. Good to see you. Hope you're well. I haven't got any fans.
You've got loads.
That bloke from Wilston's going to come round in the corner and start laughing at me. None of you got any fans?
Only fans.
No, I'm just thinking. So I'm just watching a game. I've got the humorous story from the site years ago. Where I think I've got a sort of a fan. I think I agreed to do an interview for somebody for their college dissertation in America about running a website or helping to run a website. I mean, I'm not going to overplay my role in the site, but so I got asked a load of questions about how it all works, and I said basically, Graham does all the work, and people sort of think I do, and anyway, this well, it wasn't a dissertation as such, but this essay he wrote, and I felt like I had a stalker. It was so sort of syrupy and gushing about this humble accountant who spends his life following a football club. I thought I was going to be sick when I read it. So little sorry, just watching it. That's well played in the end by Ben Rama. Loose ball, which got an awkward height, but he managed to head it back to Fabianski with 2 Manchester United players around him. So did well there. If he not got enough on that, then might be in trouble, but did all right there.
Andy Welsh says, I'm Gnome's fan on the live chat. There you go, Gnome.
Yeah, well,
first one of the day.
Yeah, and it's only saying like there's so few of us prog fans that get about the place. Now we've got Man United player down here. We've got Man United player down here. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I was kind of distracted by that conversation. But he's clutching his face and rolling around a bit, but nobody seems too impressed by it. And it's Rashford who's up now. And well, also about nothing. It was a free kick to us anyway. I think he just landed awkwardly, having upended somebody. But so
Get up, you tart.
yeah. That's it. You summed it up in 4 words. What I was trying to say in about 200 there, Nick.
Sorry about that.
It's back. Stop talking about him.
I'm just going to see if I've got any fans. I couldn't find any. Anyway.
I bet you struggled in the heat wave.
Not much happening. Let's talk about the game for a second, shall we? 13 minutes gone, not much happening. Man United probably a little bit more of the ball in territory as Ben Rama gives it away now and they're on the attack. And Ronaldo's had a shot from about 30 yards. It's straight down Fabianski's throat. You expect him to save that, and he does quite comfortably. But one of the things we mustn't do, giving the ball away cheaply, and that's precisely what we did. Ben Rama's totally lost the plot there, but got a lot behind the ball. Ronaldo, decent power in the shot, but it was comfortable height, and to say straight down Fabianski's throat. So
still 0-0. Just approaching the quarter of the.
We've done it again there. Now that's Dawson giving it away cheaply, very cheaply. Oh. Well, that was Rashford. I mean, Dawson gave the ball very, very poorly away there. Rashford sort of got the ball out left, ball down on goal, cut inside, got the shot away, and it was Souček actually got a foot on it. It deflected off him, looped over the bar. Good block by Souček, but one of those ones that when it loops up, you think it's not going to drop in, is it? The corner's come across and it's been cleared out. So, there we go.
Yeah, Fabianski on the deck would have been able to do a lot about that if it looped the net. But fortunately for West Ham, it's clear. And Nick, 15 minutes
another
now.
Another chance there for the home side. Again, Rashford. Cross comes in from the left. Rashford gets up well. Not much of a challenge from Cresswell there. Nobody really on Rashford at all. Heads it down again. Fabianski well behind it though, but looking a little bit ominous at the moment because we're giving the ball away and they're using it.
Yeah, it's looking like it's just a matter of time, isn't it? Really, we had a right 5 minutes, and now it's all Man United, and Fabianski there making the save on the line. I'm a little bit behind now. Yeah. And that's what Noam would say, the save on the line by Fabianski. It's just got this air of inevitability about it now, isn't it?
I don't know. We're still 0-0, and they can miss all the chances we want. Oh, lovely from Ben Ram. Lovely turn, great skill. Gets the shot away, it's blocked, but a lovely turn. So Skamaka has a dig. And again, it's blocked though. And Ben Rama gets the block in. Looked a fair challenge to me, but referee, as it's Old Trafford, gives a free kick. Lovely, lovely skill from Ben Rama though. He's lost 3 Man United players in one little turn there. Just have a look at it now. Lovely, lovely stuff. And that's when you showboat, Anthony.
Yeah, talking of that, what did you make of that? No,
no, I've just seen the Ben Rama. Sorry, I've just seen the Ben Rama stuff. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
The Anthony thing.
Yeah,
hilarious, wasn't it? Goes around 3 times, circle, and kicks it out of play. I mean, what you saw there, the difference between that and what Ben Rama did there was to drag the ball back to beat 3 players. When Anthony was doing that thing out of the touchline, there was nobody within a yard of him. There wasn't any purpose to it other than dick about for 5 minutes.
It's a bit different
giving it
to
away again.
that turn that Benrahma did, a bit different to Nobles and Parkers, isn't it, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, one of my old mates from Newcastle always used to describe Parker as drilling for oil when he did that.
Palmer says that was filthy. It was, Steve, pure filth, mate, pure filth.
Ronaldo tries to get across in, Bowen blocks, and it's a corner to Manchester United. We are giving the ball away far, far too cheap. I've said it a million times already today, but the one thing we really, really don't want to be doing.
I'm having terrible trouble with my stream, gentlemen. This is why I'm not contributing much at the moment. Please
stay with me
please
then.
hold
I'll
the
stay
fort
with.
while
They've got a corner.
find something workable.
Okay, well, Steve, want to stay with me? They've got a corner. It's out on their left, our right. In swinger into the 6 yards box. Fabianski gets a punch on it. Out to Benrahma, who now brings it away. Out down our left wing. Plays the ball down the line. Rice has got it. He kept it in. Oh, that didn't look like it went out. But of course, again, Old Trafford. Moyes is incandescent because it didn't look like it went out. I mean, we had a close angle on it. I think we get a different angle with see for sure. Let's have a look. Rice goes past the fullback. That's not gone out at all. I mean, even the background, the commentators are saying that didn't go out. Rice was free down that left wing, and our linesman's just basically played the crowd there. What was that you were saying about not getting decisions, Nick?
Unbelievable. Absolutely. Yeah. I can't.
It didn't even look like it went out.
No,
it wasn't even close, was it? Yeah.
And then it brings you back to that time when, what's his face? Was it Pogba? Put the ball down the line and it went out by about 3-4 feet.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then he carried on running.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a long history. There's the FA Cup quarter-final the other year when we were 1-0 up and a late equaliser when I can't remember who was in goal for us. Now, Man United have given it away cheaply, but we give it back to them. You know. And why do they give it back to us? Well, nobody wants the ball at the moment, and just to reinforce the point, we give it back to them, and it's come back to us. So we've got Rice, who's desperately looking for some support there, and gets kicked off the ball there for his trouble. And the referee saw that. That was a little bit naughty. Play's gone on, and we've got the ball in their half, out on our right-hand side. And Bones found Rice. Rice gives it away now. It's catching. Rice was trying to. Well played, ref. You saw that one. Downs has just tried to put a challenge on Casemiro, and maybe a nanosecond late. The referee spots that. 20 seconds earlier, Rice, same thing, nothing. Yeah.
Right.
Not happy with Kavanagh at the moment. You got a stream yet, Gray?
No, still working on it. Still working on it. I do have one, but it's very flaky.
I'll keep going then. Going for a very scrappy spell. Nobody wants to keep the ball now. Downs has got it and it's done well to keep hold of it there. And that's a nice ball in to Souček, who overruns it and gives the ball away again. You may detect a theme here.
Where are we time-wise, gentlemen, on your streams?
22 minutes and 19 seconds I'm on.
I'm on 21 minutes and 45. My stream is an official Sky Sports stream.
So's mine, but
you're watching it live on the box, though, aren't you? Online.
I find that because I've got the UHD, but if I find the I watch it on UHD, it's a second or two behind. So I tend to stick to just HD, So
I don't really notice much difference on the telly between pardon me, UHD and HD and
doesn't mind.
Whatnot else.
Yeah, doesn't mind.
Maybe it's just my eyesight, same as Palmer's.
Well, they've got away with 2 fouls here, but Ben Rama, advantage has been played. Ben Rama's bearing down on the box, cuts into the box, and he'll get a corner here if he's clever. Yeah, played Ben Rama, but there were 2 fouls in the thing. That referee played good advantage, so praise when it's due. He was about to blow, and he let it go, and then. But so Ben Rama was all on his own. There wasn't a player within about 30 yards of him, so he had to go in the box. Did well. He did well to get the I was going to say penalty, the corner. Corner to West Ham. I'm not sure. I think that's our first, isn't it? Yeah. Don't recall any others yet. And let's see what we can do with this. We've got Dawson inside.
Set pieces now after last week scoring our first set piece of the season, I think it was, wasn't it?
Well, Dawson's in there as well. Corner comes in, it's cleared out to the left-hand side, though. Now, Cresswell plays Ben Rama down the line. Oh, what is up with you, linesman? That's the second time we've been given a throw-in against us when the ball hasn't actually gone out of play. Ben Rama in dangerous position, going down the left-hand side, about to cut in. Linesman sticks his flag up. And it's not gone out, So we go again anyway. Very scrappy game. So,
you see, as soon as you see it, I'm just saying the Ben Rama thing again. As soon as the crowd cheer, then the whistle goes.
Yeah.
He's playing to the crowd. It's absurd. Totally absurd.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just coming up for 25 minutes now into the game. So Manchester United have had a couple of chances, both of which have been really dealt with quite comfortably by Fabianski. Neither side seems to want to hold on to the ball for too long. And now that's a lovely ball down the line. Oh, Ben Rama's bottled that.
Never failed to believe it.
Ball was played down the line. I'm sure Ben Rama could have made more of an effort to beat De Gea to that. Lovely ball down there. And De Gea came out the edge of the box. And well, I didn't say pulled out. He just slowed up. With a bit more effort, he could have beat De Gea. That lobbed him. But,
right. I have a
lovely ball now. Lovely ball now to the right-hand side. And
hopefully, can't get word in edgeways.
Well, flag for offside there, but lovely ball played across pitch to Kera. Kera sort of muddled his way through into the box. Eventually played, I think, with Skamaka. Let's have a look at it now. It's a lovely move up to that point. Oh, it's he's played Bowen it, but I'm not sure Bowen was. I'm not sure if number 20 this side might have been just playing Bowen on if we'd scored there, but it's a nice move though, and it's a nice play. I think Kera sort of was beating players despite himself there. It wasn't one of those control runs where you deliberately beat players. People were sort of diving and getting out of his way a little bit. But bright little spot there for us, even though it did end in an offside.
Needed a bit of that. I think he's just offside. Looking at the replay, isn't he, Bowen? He's a yard.
It was the number 20 this side I was wondering about. So
no, there's a definite gap there. I've just seen I don't know if I've got a different stream to you, but we're watching a view from the side. He's good football nonetheless. And we are just coming up to 27 minutes gone, and it's goalless at Old Trafford. West Ham not being particularly forward thinking, but it's level there at the moment. We're doing okay. Going to move on to widen the scope of the debate a little bit. Anyway, let's and of course, if anything interesting happens, Noam, do jump in if you will, if there's any chances of note or anything. But I wanted to talk about previous memories of Old Trafford. Throwing this one out to everyone joining us live on the stream. We haven't, as I said at the top of the stream, we haven't had that much luck at Old Trafford over the years, in recent years anyway. Some very famous victories against Manchester United, but I was wondering what everyone's favourite memories of Old Trafford are in particular. For me, the two, of course, I remember probably the same as everybody else who's been attending this fixture for the last 20 or 30 years would have to be 2000, the FA Cup Di Canio game, and of course the 2007 victory in another 1-0, of course. In fact, the last 3 wins we've had there have been 1-0, haven't they? But Nick, what are you got any particularly fond memories of West Ham at Old Trafford over the years?
Yeah, quite recent-ish, 2016, standing in the away end, and that Payet screamer of a free kick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That is the best memory I've had at Man United. It was absolutely superb. And to be fair as well, the other overriding memory of that day was just how nice the burger was from the van outside Old Trafford. And it was about £4, and it was a beast with like 2 burgers, eggs, bacon, and full caboodle. And knocked spots off the horse burgers outside Upton Park.
It didn't take long to get back onto food, did it?
No. I do believe. I was up there with you that game, when I know.
Yeah,
I do believe.
I'd gone up the night before. That was a weird thing. I think if it's the one I remember, I'd stayed up in Burnley the night before. I got a friend who lives up there, so I went up to see her and came in. I met up with you and Upton Gurley, who 24 hours later had been in a castle in County Cork.
Yeah, I picked her up from Manchester Airport on the way up.
Well, she'd been at a castle in County Cork 24 hours earlier, having drinks with my mum, dad, and little brother.
Yes.
So it was all that going on.
Who else was there? Phil S. and I think, blimey. Oh, God. Can't remember his name.
I'm trying to remember. I remember you, yeah. We meet up with you because we met up and had a coffee, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then...
John. Oh, I can't remember his bloody name now. I know on Facebook he's known as John BJ. Because he was there as well. Can't remember his real name.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I remember that one. That was, I mean, there was also the nightmare, the complete crush, the complete failure of every principle of crowd control at Piccadilly Station that night. And I've still got a report from the British Transport Police just saying exactly what went wrong and how nobody involved with that really sort of did anything properly.
No, the M6 was a bugger that night and all.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. 3, 4 hours in a car with Upton Gurley. Yeah, that was enough.
That's my landlady you're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Hello, Catherine, if you're there.
No, she was good that day. She was good that night. She kept me entertained.
Well, there was, of course, the other one that Graham mentioned, the 2007, where nearly didn't get in on, only got into the match just on time before kickoff because we had the ticket for some bloke called Howlett, who, as ever, was running late.
No, not like him.
Got there just before kickoff, and that was when I was in plaster and on crutches, and so my ticket was in the disabled section. I would have done the Alf Garnett thing, jumping up when we scored, but I really, really couldn't. And it was like I tried to get up on my crutches to sort of celebrate. By the time I got up, they kicked off again.
Craven Moorhead says that Payet free kick was special. No better sound than the ball hitting the post and going in. Ian McNeil says my least favourite was a cup game capped by watching Phil Neville run straight through the defence to score. Gary Breen looked like he didn't know which game he was playing, let alone which team. That, of course, Ian, was the infamous 6-0, was it not? I think it was 2003 in the cup, wasn't it? And it's a game I remember well, but largely because I drove to Manchester for the game, watched us get humped 6-0 and got a speeding ticket on the way home just to cap a pretty miserable afternoon for me and all West Ham fans. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, on your bike. Claire was with me that day, actually, so she knew exactly how it was. Funny enough, she's not been to many West Ham games since. I don't know why. But yeah, there you go. Where are we in the game, chaps? Anyway, 32 minutes gone. Still
32 minutes, 53 seconds, 0-0. Still very scrappy. Still a couple of things where we'll talk about refereeing decisions, little niggly fouls from the home side that weren't given, and they sort of go setting up an attack, and you're thinking, well, up the other end, that gets given. So fine margins, as I say. More by luck than judgment, the ball just got worked into the box from Man United, but it was played back to Fabianski. Long ball play, very long ball. Fabianski comes to the edge of the box and heads clear. I think he's been caught there. Have a look at it again. It was a very long ball. I'm sure that, that would have been offside looking at the mode grass bit. Fabianski heads and he just gets caught by who's caught in there? Ericsson. It would have been offside, I'd say, had anything come of that, so nothing to worry about. I think Fabianski was given the free kick, though.
Okay.
Sorry, was that great, you were saying?
Yeah, just going to have a quick look at the statistics where we are at the moment. Possession 53-47 in favour of Man United. Manchester 7 shots, 2 on target. West Ham 3 shots, none on target. 2 corners to Manchester United, 1 to West Ham so far. Nick, new T-shirt today.
Yes, this one, right? I've only found it again. I got this when I was on my holiday and I was in Skeggers.
Yeah.
And I won this T-shirt because I polished off the largest piece of haddock you will ever see in your life. And it was a challenge at a fish and chip restaurant in Skeggy.
Nice.
Yeah. And greedy fat person me, I did polish off the fish and it was the best haddock I've ever had.
Was it was it fish alone, or was it accompanied by your accoutrements, your chips and mushy?
Oh no, you got your chips and stuff like that. But the challenge was to eat the fish and not. You didn't have to eat the whole plate. It was just the fish. The fish was that big.
Get up.
Got it.
What was it called?
That's ludicrous, referee. Skamaka's just been booked. I mean, it was one of those ones where he turned, felt a bit of contact and dived half an hour like, tiny bit of contact on his foot. Rash throws himself to the floor. Yeah, foul that there's a bit of contact, I suppose, but never a yellow. So free kick to Man United, dangerous position. Rashford, if he'd thought about it, had all the space in the world to run on, but they're conditioned now. I'm going to go down for that. Yeah.
Papa's fish and chips. There we go. Like I didn't know that, as it's got "I'm the Papa" on my T-shirt.
That explains it. Now it all fits. You say it was on the pier at Skeggy?
I think it's on the pier. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Night well. Very
nice though.
Nothing came at a free kick. It was played in short.
Road for Grimsby, of course.
Yes. Free kick was played in short, went near post, and they tried to build up by drilling pass across the pitch. Went straight out for throw-in, so nothing really doing there.
AGXMS, I have got pants on today.
Today?
I just realised, how come we've moved around?
I've done a bit of a shuffle because of the way you guys are sitting. It wasn't working properly. Nick, you're over to one side. Gnome's over to one side. So we're now, without going into too much of a technical argument, it fits better on the screen in this position.
Oh, I see. You just wanted to sit in the middle. Yeah.
If you look at Gnome, well, actually, no, I never sit. If you noticed, I'm always on the edge. But if you look at Gnome, there's a big gap to his right because his camera's over. If he turns his camera around a little bit to his right, it'll be a bit more central. And it's but normally I don't worry with you with such nonsense technical things because I can just adjust. There you go. See, look, much more central in the shot. Nick, you're generally over to one side as well. a little bit.
We've just got 1-0 down.
Yes. There's a surprise. Was it Rashford or Ronaldo?
I think it's Rashford there.
Had to be one of those two, didn't it?
Yeah, there goes to be 1-0 anyway. We'll have to win 2-1 now then.
And my goal is draw.
So, yeah, it was a cross from the right, a good cross. And it was, one of those crosses that's sitting up begging to be headed in. Again, ball lost cheaply, really, yeah.
It's I think that's poor defensively from all that. It's another one of these throw-ins where they've taken the throw in. We've not closed the first ball down quickly enough. No one's closed the crosser down. And Tilo Kehrer, I don't think is even aware that Rashford's coming behind him.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't even seem to have made a jump. There's no shout from anyone. That's dreadful defending from West Ham. Absolutely terrible. Manchester United lead 1-0.
I'm just looking at Ericsson there. On another day, that's very close to being near his arm before he gets the crossing. But, I mean, Fabianski's not saving that, I'm afraid. So,
I can't for the life of me understand why Kehrer's not trying to get off the ground there. I mean, he must be aware that the players, or he should be aware that the players coming in behind. That's But as we say, it's not the first time we've seen Kehrer, look weak in the air. He's just got completely the wrong side. It's completely unaware of Rashford coming in behind him. For an international defender, that's poor. I know Kehrer is flavour of the month, but let's have it right here. Pull it out when it's. But the whole thing was.
Well, we forced the corner at the other end, so let's see if we can do a quick equaliser. Cresswell on the ball for the corner, and over the ball goes, and it's another one of those ones where we try and play it in at near post that doesn't beat the first man. Now Cresswell plays Benrahma down the line again, another cross that doesn't get in. I mean, we've got Dawson there as probably our principal weapon, either by using him or by sort of him being a decoy for somebody else. It just doesn't make sense to me to be playing those short corners. And ball goes out now for a Man United throw. So, nothing much happening there.
Let us know, you guys watching on the live chat, what you thought of the goal. Do you think it was just, I think West Ham were at fault there, should have closed down a bit better, or do you think it was just a good move worked by Manchester United? But it's not the first time we've conceded from that scenario. I'm trying to think who else it was against recently, Nick, where it was very similar. Was it Southampton, perhaps? I think it might have been Southampton, where they had to throw on in an identical position and scored. I think it was the game where we drew 1-1 down there, but I'm sure you guys on the stream will remind me if I'm incorrect. But
yeah, it was down there, that side as well.
Yeah, exactly the same position. A definite weakness that, maybe that, Manchester United have identified that. Who knows? But anyway, whatever the reason, we're a goal down and there's 4 minutes to go till half time.
Well, at the end of the day, if us mere minions can see our weaknesses, I'm sure somebody who's paid handsomely as a job knows it as well. And they've exploited it.
Yeah.
So that'll be 21 years without a win at Old Trafford for David Moyes.
Yes,
the game is young. Be optimistic.
Yeah, there's a long way yet. I want to say a big hello while we're taking a moment to Cockney Hammer, who's joining us live on the stream. As those of you who frequent the KUMB.com forum will be aware, our Steve has been in hospital for a bit, and he's at home now. We're pleased to say he's out and he's recovering. But just want to say a big hello, Steve. Hope you're well. Big love from everybody here and at KUMB, and get back on the site and get posting again when you possibly can, and keep recovering well. Anyway, good to see you out and about once again.
Here to that. Now we've got a free kick again, sort of just in Man United, about 10 yards inside Man United half, just where the centre circle ends. Now it's when we've had free kicks in this sort of area, they've ended up being played square and backwards and all that. But I want to see a bit of ambition. I don't want to see have to go gung ho, but when we've got set piece, then and we do. Cresswell plays the ball in the box. Souček went for it and didn't get anywhere near it. Ball's with Benrahma the other side now. Pulls it back to Cresswell, tees up the cross, and hits the defender or midfielder, Ronaldo, in fact, and goes out for a throw in. But yeah, a bit more attacking intent anyway. Even if now Shaw's landed awkwardly, I think, when going up for that challenge with Souček. And so we got a stoppage in play anyway for a minute or two. Just having a look now. And yeah, it's an accidental sort of, might be a flick to the eye there, nothing malicious in it, but certainly not free kick or anything. But we're going to play on. I think referee said play on, and we have restarted. Oh, lovely again from Benrahma, but gets hauled down. We don't get anything, and Man United now go out on the break.
Hobo, talking about that goal, says it was poor defending and concentration for the goal. And AGXM says Ericsson had too long to look up, and Cross and Kera was poor. Dan Spencer's saying Hannu Tiernan is 46, played in the FA Cup 2000 when we won New. Is his birthday, Dan, today? One of the most. See, I've got a different opinion of Hannu Tiernan from many people. I think he played 7 games for West Ham. He was absolutely outstanding in that Manchester United game, but no one remembers the other 6 games he played for West Ham. And do you know why? Because he was dreadfully ordinary in every single one. That's why. But yeah, one of those players that is often remembered with through claret tinted glasses, I think, a little bit, but was absolutely outstanding in that day. That's for sure.
Who was the other one? Repo. Repo was the other one we had around that roughly that period, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got because Tahinen was Finnish, and Repo was Danish. We've got that Scandinavian spell, didn't we? And yeah, it's always have to think. If somebody says Reaper, I'm always thinking who's the other guy, and now you mentioned Tahinen, and then it's like, oh, it's Reaper who's the other guy.
Yes, Reaper actually turned up on the club's website, didn't he, last week? Was doing a pre about Silkeborg. But yeah, he was there 96, wasn't it? He signed, I think, 95 or 96. I think it was 96. Good player. Liked him a lot. Nick, were you a fan of our Scandies at all?
Yeah, they're always.
I thought Reaper was brilliant. I liked Reaper, yeah.
They're always industrious little fellas, the Scandinavians, aren't they?
Rob Waldron has mentioned Raggy Soma, of course, Ragnvald Soma, who was one of those players that came. Was he one of the Rio players? I think came in, along the same time as Song and Christian Daly, if I recall correctly, and sort of promised great things. I'm not sure he played more than a handful of games, did he?
No, very few. Half time, by the way, that's Man United 1, West Ham United 0. Yeah, one moment is the difference really between the sides. Really, Man United have had a lot more of the ball. Yeah, I guess more of what you might term as the quote chances. But apart from the goal they've scored, they've not really been any sort of heart in mouth moments. Everything's gone straight down the throat of Fabianski. We need to show a little bit more ambition, I think, is my summary.
Yeah, it's I believe that's the 10th occasion this season that West Ham have gone behind in a Premier League fixture, which is absolutely appalling stat, quite frankly. The other stats from the first half: possession 56 to 44 in favour of the home side, who've had 9 shots, 3 on target. West Ham, a paltry return of 3 shots. And once again, from the first half, Nick, not a single shot on target.
It's a surprise. Story of our season, isn't it, really?
Isn't it just? Isn't it just? How many times have we sat here and said that?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they're doing on the training pitch, but it clearly ain't working. How can a professional footballer, whose job it is, and I'm not just talking about Scamacca, I'm talking about our entire front line, not even make a goalkeeper work? I don't get it. Not expecting them to score every time, Let's hit the bloody target. And that's the thing that's concerning me about this season, because if, you know, we're not conceding many, which is a bonus. But when you ain't scoring, you lose games. And you go behind in games and you make the job harder for yourself. Maybe we're just not as good as we think we are. That's it. Maybe it's just as simple as that. And our major summer spending isn't been as good as we initially thought. Dare I say?
Well, 60 feet out of 12 already for the Hammers. This could be number 7 if we can't find a way back in 7. Of course, there is, as Noam keeps saying, there's a long way to go yet, and it's too early to sort of write this one off. But the signs aren't good anyway. Noam, what do you make of that? The fact that we've gone behind in so many games already so far this season. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's something I wasn't aware of, I suppose, as a stat. Although, thinking about it, I've been there most of the time when it's happened. So, of course, the bloke with the stats has walked away. I'm just wondering how many times we actually come back and got something out of those games. Southampton,
not a lot, because we ain't won many. We've only won 3, 4, haven't we? Out of
Southampton, we got a point at Fulham. We were 1-0 down in, weren't we?
And that's the thing. We make it hard for ourselves.
Yeah.
We then leave ourselves open. We can't be doing that against the better teams. And no matter how much people want to say Man United are the shadow of the former selves, which they are, they're still not a bad side. You know, they're improving after a dodgy start this season.
Yeah.
They are improving. They are one of the better teams in the league, and they're dangerous going forwards. And having to then play open after going a goal behind, especially due to stupid defensive mistakes, we need to be taking our chances. It's not something that we seem to be learning from either, and that's the danger. What gets
me? I mean, obviously against different type of opposition, but we had how many million shots against Bournemouth, and loads the week before as well. And Ben Rama single-handedly, I think, against the stat was Ben Rama alone had more shots against Bournemouth than Bournemouth had in entirety in that whole game. It's great you're back now. In all those games that I don't know if you've got all the stats in front of you, but in all those games that we've gone 1-0 behind, how many have we actually got anything out of? A point or 3?
I did post something on the KUMB forum this week. I think it was 5 points we've won back, or it was 5 games we've come back to take something. I'll see if I can dig it out. But there was a table of Premier League teams that we were about 3rd or 4th in terms of how many times we've gone behind, and we picked up a few points, but it wasn't anything extraordinary, that's for sure. But
we picked up 3 against Fulham. We went 1-0 down. 1 against Southampton.
Yes.
And I'm just so that's What else have we got? We've got to try to think of the other.
Tottenham, were we behind against Tottenham?
Yes, we were. That was it. So it seems so long ago. And
of course, we should have won a point at Chelsea, but
and indeed Forest.
Yeah, of course, denied a point by the officials again that day. So we picked up a few, but it's a real worry, isn't it? I mean, you just I know it's old hat, but you just cannot afford to concede early goals in the Premier League. This is a division that isn't awash with goals, especially away from home, especially up against a team like this, especially up against a partisan crowd like this, and a referee who's going to be inclined to give decisions to the home side, and just can't afford to do it. And I'm watching it again now. I'm just watching that goal, and it's a horror show from West Ham in terms of defending.
Just watching each other watch the ball.
The whole thing, and interestingly, there was a post. Young Jack, our colleague on KUMB, Young Jack, a few minutes before the goal was scored, posted on Twitter to say,
"You're cutting out a bit there, mate."
has a moment every single game. Sorry, yeah, my stream is timed excellently. Kehrer just has those moments where he looks lost on the pitch. His defensive awareness is becoming a huge concern for West Ham. What do you make of Kehrer so far?
Yeah, I think I got the gist of that. It was a little bit like you'd had a few pints and was slurring it a bit, but I think I got the gist of it. Yeah, awareness is 100% the problem with that goal.
Yeah,
from Kehrer's perspective, I mean, it was a good cross, and Rashford's position, he was always going to be in trouble because Rashford. It was into the space where Rashford had a lovely run onto that, but if you know he's there, then you know he's there. You can actually try and do something. I mean, Kehrer was in trouble, but he should have done more. Who do we have out there on the left? There was Cresswell. There was Benrahma was there, all sitting there watching them sort of play little triangles, and it was just a horror show right from start to finish. But yeah, Kehrer's got to be more aware of that. As I say, it was a good cross and it was sort of begging to be headed in. But
yeah,
if you don't try and put the player off, then you give him a free header. And we'd had a warning earlier on when Rashford came across and there was nobody marking him, and thankfully he headed it straight at Fabianski. But it's what Nick was saying about learning lessons. 10 minutes earlier, Rashford's got that chance, and we didn't learn.
No, certainly didn't, and it's just disappointing. It's just so symptomatic of our season. We just seem to be making the same mistakes over and over again. Roshane Thomas posting on Twitter says that West Ham missed Lucas Paqueta today. He provided creativity and service to Scamacca, who's been underwhelming in the last 3 games, and it's mainly due to Paqueta's absence. You agree with that, no?
Yeah, it's a good theory, actually. I haven't given it much thought, but when you think about it, the pair of them have looked at their best when they've been together. When the pair of them out there, when Paqueta's not been there, Scamacca doesn't seem to get. People don't seem to be on the same wavelength as him. And that's possibly a good point. I mean, we'd have needed to, have a little bit more attacking intent anyway, even if Paqueta's there, sort of thing. But it's not a bad point, that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big concern. Obviously, a player that's cost the club so much money being absent, it's always going to be a struggle. But anyway, we are where we are. It's half time. If you are just joining us, West Ham a goal behind at the break to Marcus Rashford's 38th minute header. Bit of a horror show from West Ham defensively, as far as everybody was concerned. I would imagine there'll be some raised and possibly quite angry voices in the dressing room at half time. Looking back at that, you'd imagine, Noam, that that's something they probably would have worked on extensively in training at Rush Green during the week. And to concede a goal, we touched on it, didn't we, just before the half-time break, but it's not the first time West Ham have been caught out from that position. We mentioned the Southampton goal, and we're just not learning from our mistakes this season.
You say that they've probably worked on that in Rush Green, but if they have, nobody was paying attention. Because I say it's I'm just trying to think of the shot being buried at Southampton, but it's come from that same position from a throw-in. And there were 3-4 players there, all stood around it, all basically watching each other. Yeah. And we seem to turn off at throw-ins. It's like, it's a breather. Well, no, just take the throw-in, guys. You've got to go get the ball back. But still, we'll score 2 in the second half.
There you go. That's what we need to hear. A little bit of confidence. A couple of people who aren't quite as confident as you or I may be, as Craven and
everyone,
one or two others. Well, this is interesting. Answer this one. if you will. Craven says that I'm Moyes 100% out now. All of us fans know we'll never go to the grounds and have a go or even win. We want to go into a game where we have hope. When do we ever have hope under Moyes? I am so annoyed. And Chris Dalby agrees. He said we'll get slammed for it, Craven, but I don't think he has the desire for it either now. He wants to win a trophy with the Conference League, but apart from that, his passion has gone. What do you think about that? That's a fair accusation, Moyes?
I'm not going to slam anybody for an opinion. So, Chris and Craven, I'm not going to slam you for it. I will disagree, though. What you got to consider is we had two pretty good seasons with a fairly set and stable is the word. I don't know. Fairly set squad, which really didn't change over the two seasons. We've now brought in, what was it, 8 players, however many players it is. This season, I mean, we couldn't go on with the same squad as we had last season, and still be in 3 domestic trophies and a European one. That was, we couldn't do that. It was always going to be a transitional season, and you got 8 players. You got 8 players trying to bed in, even if you put them all in at once. I think it's 8 anyway. If I'm saying 8, and it's more or less, but let's say 8 for the time being. But you then get, one of those 8, however many it is, gets injured. So okay, that throws your plans out, and you're trying to bed players in. And you're trying to bed players in at the same time as other players who were there last time aren't playing as well as they did last season. And so you've got kind of the perfect storm. I mean, I think where we are is a realistic place for us at the moment. We've not set the world alight. We've played occasionally. There's been little spells of good football. Where we're certainly better than the teams below us by and large, but whereas this time last season we were pushing it a little bit, people were perhaps playing a little bit beyond themselves and pushing that a little bit harder. When you make all those changes, it's difficult to actually be. You make those changes, you run at a standstill almost, and the players are bedding in. We've seen signs that of good things. Keita was beginning to come good before he got injured, but as we just pointed out there, as Rashane, wasn't it? Pointed out that, and I think the more I think about that, without Paqueta, Scamacca doesn't look half as good at the moment. And when you've got that new player, you've got the one player who's sort of making you look good, and he's suddenly not there. If you've been in a team for a few seasons, maybe you could live with that. Your first season, you need everything to be going for you. You haven't quite got that. Just Scamacca a little bit off the boil last week or two.
Actually, on that point, I've seen that mentioned by a few people on Twitter, saying that it's all right moaning at certain individuals that have been there for a while, but Scamacca has really not been at the races for the last 3 or 4 games even. And but maybe that's it. Maybe there is a correlation with that mission. But I just wonder also whether the thing about Paqueta, even when he's not firing on all cylinders, he's posing a threat, isn't he, to the opposition? Is a consideration they've got to be concerned about. And without that, it sort of offers the opposition a little more opportunity to come at us and be a bit more fearless in a way.
Can I stop you there? We've got a substitution. It's quite a major one. Fabianski has not come out for the second half, and Areola's in goal. I'll just try and find out what that's all about. Yeah. I think it might be that thing where that through ball where he came out and got caught, and I think he might. Could possibly have got a dead leg there or something. But that's the one change at half time, which is now the second half is now underway. And
Okay.
so that's a substitution already used up that we palpably could have done without. So, and anyway, we're underway. And ball was played back to Areola, and it's now back in his hands. It's his first proper touch.
So, the Bowen conundrum. He's been pretty poor, hasn't he? Not just tonight.
Okay. Nick
But in general.
back on the sofa as well. And
Your
yes,
connection or whatever is terrible. I've been
not been at the races at all, is he?
No.
Yeah, it's
Not at
been
all.
like that all day, I'm afraid. I'm just trying to hang on in there and keep the stream running. So carry on.
We've
regardless.
got Eyes Up Mother Brown run by
I
Stephen
can hear you
Hawking
guys.
here.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Run by ZX81. Stephen Hawking.
He's not been great this season. I don't know what's up with him. What's causing this major loss in form? Is he playing within himself because he thinks he's going to be getting on a plane to the Far East or the Middle East? I don't know, but the manager needs to decide. He's got some difficult decisions to make. I would suggest Antonio, like everyone else on the forum is suggesting, but it's kind of much of a muchness at the moment, isn't it? He ain't doing particularly great either. And at least Bowen's playing in his right position. It's still 13 games in, got the feeling of being one of them seasons.
Yeah, we seem to have been saying that every week, and it's the same old story, Nick, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I don't want it to be one of them seasons, but that's what it seems to be turning out to be. The facts don't lie, or the stats don't lie. Yeah, you can say that we've been, in inverted commas, unlucky. Sometimes you make your own luck, though, didn't you, as well? And the bare facts remain. We're heading for what, our 7th defeat of the season. Is it acceptable? Is this current West Ham where we are now as a club? Is scraping wins against the bottom lot, losing against the bottom lot in Forest's case, is that really acceptable with the money that we've spent? He's still got a bit in the bank for me. If somebody like what's his face, bloke from PSG that's left, I've blanked, Poch. If he became available and expressed an interest, I'd actually make a swap tomorrow. Who was it that said on the stream? 1,000 games, do you still have the motivation after 1,000 games? Not so sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
The debate will rate. Unfortunately, it reminds me a bit of greatly.
Much a bit of what?
No. Did you get?
Sorry, Gray. You're really, really. Your feed is really poor. It's Norman Collier meets Stephen Hawking.
I said what I was saying. I don't know if you can hear me, but he reminds. Just saying, Moyes reminds me of Alan Kirbishley in the sense that he divides opinion so much.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, just going to cut back to the game here. It's we had a chance which got blocked, and as the ball came up in the air, Skamaka put his foot up to it and caught Martinez there. High boot. I mean, definitely dangerous play. Yeah, he's got his eye on the ball and foot's definitely high. I mean, the first shot was blocked, and he's tried to get on the second. And Martinez has very bravely sort of gone in with his head there, and
he's lucky to stay on the pitch there.
It's actually caught him on the back, really, I think, rather than the head. Although he's clutching his head, as players do. But dangerous play, certainly, and a free kick. But
Yep, and he's on a booking already. As I say, he's
Yeah,
he's lucky to stay on the pitch because
yeah,
if he weren't,
could very easily have been a booking. Although, I said that his first one was ludicrous, but yeah, so he's a bit lucky to still be on the pitch. I think it's right that he's still on the pitch, but he's a bit lucky to be.
Yeah, having seen that myself now, I think he's very lucky to still be on the pitch. I'm with Nick on that one. I think he's very, very lucky.
Yeah,
that's a yellow card all day long for me.
Sorry, Man United shot from outside, but Rashford's obviously got a bit between his teeth now, but curls it well wide. Yeah, I mean, I think this favour, when you see it again, he's totally focused on the ball, and Martinez comes in from off the screen, if you like, and sort of heads as he's going to kick it. But so. I mean, as I say, I mean, I can see why he might have been given a booking, but I would also say that he shouldn't have been booked for the first one, which was a nothing challenge. It really was. Don't know if he was listening to us there or whatever, but I mean, a couple of times since the second half started, Bowen's been on the ball and so have a little bit more energy in the first half. I mean, we've not seen anything for it, but it's running around a little bit more anyway, Nick.
Good. I'd run around for 70 odd grand a week and all. Can't play football for shit. I can run around, not for long.
Rice has done well there, and Bowen's done well against Shaw. He's put it past Shaw, and Shaw just body checks him. Talking yellow cards, that was as deliberate as anything, and Shaw's not being booked. Yeah, he just stuck his backside into him.
Well, to be fair, at least the ref's having a bit of consistency.
Well, is he though? I mean, would that have been a yellow card had the shirts been the other colours?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we've got the ball, and Rice is now sort of probing. Benrahma out left. Plays I wouldn't even say it was a cross or a shot, whatever, but just along the ground, and De Gea just picks it up off the floor, really. Yeah, so far so scrappy in the second half, and Nolan is looking like he's. I think it was Antonio there, wasn't it? I think he's looking at instructing Antonio. He's got the tablet or laptop on all there, and he's pointing at things on it. So, on the assumption it's football related and not the latest cat video on the internet, then we should be seeing Antonio shortly.
Indeed. I think that's going to be more of a precaution to make sure Schumacher don't get sent off.
Yeah.
Because he got away with one there. He's very lucky. I still can't believe he didn't actually get booked for that. That's, I'm not being funny. If I was a Man U fan, which thankfully I'm not and never will be, I'd actually be spitting feathers. If that was the other way round and that was a Man U player on a yellow and he'd committed a foul like that, I'd be screaming for the second yellow. And quite rightly.
I'd still be moaning about the first, though. So.
I get that. I totally get that.
I agree with you. He's lucky to be on the pitch, but maybe that was in the back of Kavanagh's mind. Ref. Well, Bowen's just been sort of kicked off the ball there, and referee's right in front of it, given nothing. Rice wins it back, though, and Rice and Zuma win it back between them. But Maguire just went right through Bowen there, and the ball went round between them, and it was just a play on.
I've just seen Rio's comment there saying that Nolan is showing Antonio the Eyes Up Mother Brown feed. Mark Pierce agreeing with you, saying that Yeah, they're so far behind. Mark Pierce agrees and says maybe the ref was leading because he realised the first yellow was harsh. So some sympathy for that view.
I've
But
just seen the Bowen challenge in the centre of the park there. Why is the ref not given that? That was a blatant foul.
Yeah. Wasn't just me. They haven't showed it again, but I'm thinking, well, when you see that and they don't show it again, you think, is it just me? That was a foul, wasn't it? He's just gone straight through him. And, neither of players played the ball there. The question is, what part of the ball did Maguire play? And the answer is none.
It's going back a few moments. There's a really, really decent cross coming from Tilo Kehrer. Absolutely no one attacking it. No one in the box at all.
Yeah. We're having a bit of possession at the moment. The ball's fairly deep in Man United half. And, we're making the change now. 56 minutes gone. Antonio on for Scamacca, the expected change. But, I think Moyes had just put an arm round Scamacca and had a chat with him, and that's probably look. It's nothing personal, but this ref's. I can't risk you with this ref. So I think that was the conversation there. Anyway, still in possession and just trying to get Manchester United now. Just try to work the lines a little bit, but there's not enough movement ahead of the player on the ball every time at the moment for me. It's nice work from Ben Rama though, and Souček and Cresswell out there. We're not getting very far forward, but we're keeping possession well for a rare minute or two. But when the players on the ball, there are very few options. Right, that's a lovely ball by Dawson. Cross comes in. Oh, just cleared again, and Manchester United can break again. No, this is where we need to get back. Thankfully, Ronaldo didn't want to go straight forward, and it's played it back, and we can regroup. But that's where we're probably, if we're going to get caught again, it would be something like that, where a long spell of possession breaks down, and then suddenly we're having to get back to deal with 3 or 4 passes and the edge of our box. But didn't happen this time. Ronaldo just basically didn't seem interested in going forward. So.
Yeah, going back to that second cross, at least it's nice to see some bodies in the box for that one as opposed to the previous opportunity. But seems to be a theme here. Looks like West Ham are going to be, hurling as many as possible into the centre from out wide, which of course is a very Moyesian thing to do. But of course, we've got to get bodies on the end of it. It's no good just slinging the ball in the box, with no one attacking.
You're just standing there in your pants. Go.
Well, there's been a crowd shout for a penalty that didn't get anywhere near anybody's hand. It came up, the ball was played in and Zuma cleared it. It came at him awkwardly and it came at him sort of, played it with his side, nowhere near his hands or anything. But as it's Old Trafford and as they're so used to getting a reaction from referees, the crowd shout handball anyway. And it was never anywhere near it. But just goes to show how used they are to getting these sort of decisions up there.
It's coming up to the hour mark. Still Manchester United 1, West Ham United 0. If you haven't got a stream and you're just listening in to us, the only goal coming in the 38th minute from Marcus Rashford.
Yeah. Last 5 minutes, we had quite a lot of possession. Lovely ball in now. Bowen Bowen gets towards the edge of the box. Nutmegs, I think it was Maguire, and gets completely blocked off it. Nothing. And we lose possession, and they'll come again. But that was as blatant a block as anything. Great tackle from Rice there. They're looking at Maguire, who's looking a bit guilty as ever. This again.
Cool.
Yeah, Maguire just basically leans into him, and he's got his arm out and everything, stop him going past. Yeah, definite free kick, not given.
Regardless, this is a good spell from West Ham. We need to capitalise here. Of course, we are still waiting for our first shot on target, but it's much, much better than we saw in the opening.
Manchester United making a substitution. McTominay's on for Elanga. Change there. Sort of. I think maybe as a result of the fact we've had quite a lot of possession and over the last 10 minutes. But it's just a bit flat at the moment, though. For all the possession we've had, it's rare we've looked like actually proceeding anywhere. I mean, of course, the odd time we have to sort of think we're broken through the lines, you then get somewhat illegally blocked. But now Manchester United having a good cross and Ronaldo completely unmarked in the middle there, but a bit high for him. Got a hit on it, but it was well wide and over. Again, awareness. Zuma doesn't know. It gets between Zuma and Cresswell. Cresswell knows he's actually in front of him, but Cresswell's wrong side. And they're beginning to go again now, Manchester United, and Ronaldo gets played in, and that's shocking. A terrible, terrible shot. Slices it high and wide, sort of thing, when played in. You kind of expect a bit more from him from that position, but wasn't at all a good shot. Last couple of minutes, Manchester United have started to come back into this a little bit more from where we were 10 minutes ago. So
all too predictable, isn't it?
Well, Zuma with nothing ahead of him to give the ball to. He's brought the ball from defence right up to the halfway line and sort of before playing out wide. But then we end up with a long ball in a general direction of Kerr's gone all the way up there and he's now get a bus back because the ball out towards Kerr is just a poor ball and he's got no chance of getting that. And so it's now Manchester United's turn to enjoy a spell of possession.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to our earlier debate about our defensive issues, it should, of course, be pointed out that we've actually got one of the best defensive records in the league. I think there's only 3 or 4 teams that have conceded fewer goals than West Ham. We were on 12 before today, and I think Newcastle are top with 10, maybe Arsenal and Man City, but we're only a couple of goals behind the very best in the league.
That's what I said earlier. We've got the
problems.
I mean, It's not our defence that's the issues. It may look like it because we're losing games.
Yeah,
but we're not getting stuffed. We're losing by the odd goal here and there. We're not scoring goals. That's our biggest problem. Look at the amount of goals we've scored after 13 games this season, which ain't a lot. Let's have a little butchers. View full Premier League table. This season we have scored we've scored what, 7 goals? No, we haven't. That's how many we've lost. My apologies. 11.
11, I think. Yeah.
We've scored 11 goals in 13 games. Now, let me have a little butchers. Carry on. Don't wait for me.
Well, just while we were debating that a few seconds ago, Ronaldo had a shot at the edge of the box, which was blocked by Cresswell. Went out for a corner. Corner came across. Ariella punched it. Nothing came of it. So, but it's where we had that 10-minute spell about 10 minutes ago. Now it's Manchester United are into their little spell of possession at the moment. So, taking their time over a throw-in, and again, it's gone back, so they'll regroup.
After 13 games last season.
It's kind of coincided with the substitution and McTominay coming on.
Yeah.
Our defensive record this season is actually better after 13 games than it was last season. We conceded 16 last season. Difference being is this season, last season we scored 24. This season we've scored 11. And therein lies our problem. There's nothing wrong with our defence. We just ain't got our shooting boots on.
It's another corner to Manchester United. A odd one, really. Diagonal ball that was trying to be played into the box. Ben Rama got a head onto it and it went up the corner. Corner comes across and a couple of players go up for it. And it's headed wide and Rice gets the better of Rashford. Now he's got half the pitch to run into and he's got Kehrer ahead of him. Plays the ball down the line to Kehrer. Kehrer back inside to Rice. Rice is now looking, plays a cross in. Oh, Antonio was winding up for the header there, but just a flick header just as he was winding up in there. Good break from West Ham. Probably the best bit of football we've seen from us at the moment. It's a very important header. I'm quite sure it was there, but it was, I mean, Antonio was in there to score. So corner to West Ham on the left-hand side. 66 minutes gone.
Rice again.
Oh, great ball. Great ball.
Corner played in. It does get past the first man, but not much further. And it's cleared out, but we're still out on the left. Cresswell and Rice. That's going to be a long corner. Yeah, and it is a corner, yeah. Ronaldo tries the old trick of picking the ball up to roll towards the goal for a goal kick, but it was a corner. And another one again. So we're not getting the ball into any of these areas where you've got the big guys, the Součeks, the Dawson. We play a short corner. Ben Rama gets down the byline. Cross again, and that's far too deep for everybody. Bowen rescues it and keeps things going. Another long cross in. Oh, Ben Rama plays it in the box. Oh, it's head tennis, and it's all the way back now. But well, it was looking defence looking a little bit shaky there. Dealt with it, but not particularly comfortably. And
Rice, Dawson, Antonio, Zuma.
Antonio, you've seen the best and the worst of Antonio there. He's Antonio, good ball played to him. He loses it, and then he's stormed back, got it back, and played the ball in, and I mean, he did well to win it back. Just wish he hadn't lost it in the first place. And Dawson, who was still up from the corner, tried to curl one into the top right corner, but curled one at the top right hand corner of the stand. So, but good little spell there. And just a reminder, this game ain't over yet. And so you probably wanted somebody other than Dawson in that position there. But yeah, encouraging. Ben Rama. Twists and turns, shoots, and De Gea's behind it. Again, though, promising stuff. Again, yeah, we're getting something out of running at them. And yeah, it wasn't the most difficult of shots for De Gea to save, but it was, again, promising from Ben Rama. So, yeah, a bit more encouragement.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but want to point out we're still waiting for our first shot target.
We've had it now.
Have we? Oh, there you go. Yeah, Ben Rama. I've just seen it come up. I didn't realise it was on target. There you go. 69th minute.
Yeah. So. It's a couple of encouraging signs there, but yeah, we've got to get the ball back now and keep that up. And that's well played by Kehrer. Cuts out the ball, plays it inside the bay, plays a lovely ball out to Kehrer again. Interesting cross, and that's going to be a corner. Cut out by whoever's playing on the left there. Man United tried to claim a goal kick there. It definitely wasn't. Quite sure he cut that out anyway. But anyway, another corner to West Ham. A good little spell this. And if only we could, yeah. I mean, that stat about us scoring from set pieces is well and truly put back on the shelf from Sky. Comes across, headed out. Downs keeps it live. Ben Rama plays the ball out left. That's a terrible cross, though. You needed better than that from Cresswell, I'm afraid. But again, further signs of encouragement. It's just that final ball. Moyes is looking very perplexed at the moment, as if he's been just shown some sort of quantum physics equations on a blackboard that don't make any sense. Moyes is taking a step back into the dugout area, as if maybe talk about another substitution. Don't know. Yeah. Ball's back with Areola, and that's the first time he's seen the ball for about 10 minutes, I think. To give us some sort of clue as to how things are going. Yeah. See, we're actually bringing the game to them a little bit more, which is, what we want to see. Don't go gung ho, but
I think the problem is known that a lot of people are saying that's what they want to see from West Ham from the start, isn't it? Not after 60, 70 minutes. It's the same story every week, and that, I think that's what's lending to a lot of the frustration we're seeing on the social media and the KUMB forum at the moment.
Yeah, disappointing end to that little spell because Souček does to. Souček's picking up a yellow card here for doing exactly the same as has happened to Bowen twice. I mean, we did say what would happen if that happened up the other end. Well, we now know. He's been nutmegged and he's just stuck a leg out at Shaw and Shaw's got across it. Yeah, probably a yellow card, but I'd like to see that yellow card given for every time that happens, and it really isn't. Yeah. So free kick to Manchester United, left hand outside the box towards the left hand side. We've got two-man wall to cover the near post. Just what we're waiting for, but it's driven in towards the back post, headed back, but Ben Rama does well there to pick it up on the edge of the box and plays it away for a throw in, which West Ham are claiming, and I think it's been given. Yeah, we've got a flick off. Manchester United got possession back anyway, but very scrappy at the moment. It's backwards and forwards, and finally a cross comes around, but Zuma sort of meat and drink to him. Furthest away. He gets and Manchester United play 3-4 passes, and it's back with De Gea. So it shows you sort of again how sort of flat it's become in the last couple of minutes.
Well, time beginning to run out. We need a goal from somewhere. It's going to have to come soon. 73, it's coming up to 74 on the clock. Still Manchester United 1, West Ham 0. Man U possession 54%, West Ham's 46, pretty much where it's been for the whole game, actually, since about the half-hour mark. Anyway, 13 shots, Man U 3 on target, West Ham 6 shots, one on target now. That one from Slide Ben Rama in the 69th minute, our first and only shot on target. So
we need some fresh legs. Moyes is doing his usual. He's leaving the subs until extremely late. How many did we make? Just the one, innit? With
two.
Antonio,
Areola and Antonio. Now, Man United got a free kick here. Let's have a look. Touching. Dawson came through with minimal contact, but he's always going to give a free kick to the home side. And free kick, dangerous position. Pulls back. I think it's fairly central. And fairly central. Indelicate challenges. Got back for that one by Dawson, who steps in.
Yeah, it's Dawson, isn't it, going through the back of Fernandes? Not much in it, really.
Well, I don't know. I've just seen the slow-mo. He run his studs there down the back of his Achilles. It was a bit naughty from Dawson.
Pablo Fornals looks like he's about to come on.
He does indeed. In front of in place of Downs, sadly. I would have thought. But he's being played out of position. I read a lot of comments on the match thread that, you know, this game's too big for him, etc., etc. He's out of position, isn't he, really? He's being played as an advanced number 10.
Yeah, there seems to be quite a lot of that, doesn't there? People saying that he's, you know, he's not having a great game. He should be hooked earlier. But yeah, I think there's a tendency to just, you know, pick holes in everything when it's going that way. Of course, Pablo's not been at his best, has he? Either, Nick, in this season, has he? Been very.
No, he's another one who's very much off form. It seems we've got a bunch of players who, on their day, can play very well, but at the moment, Bowen, Fornals, especially, their day this season just hasn't come. I mean, Fornals is one you can look back to. I mean, I caught this last season and got the ire of Rio, but I've still struggled to see what the fuss is about with Fornals. Always have done. He has the odd good game, runs about a lot, but I don't think he's actually particularly talented, in all honesty.
Well, to be fair, he does do a wonderful rendition of West Ham and Massive. Let's be fair.
He does. That's one of the better things that he does. And, you know, I like him. He plays with a smile on his face and stuff. He's another one that I think, you know, he's probably the only remaining regular, apart from Fabianski, the only remaining regular Pellegrini signing, isn't he? And he was bought in, you know, again, at a totally different sign at a totally different time. And he's never really been consistent. He's never been consistent. He's been. I like him, and I feel, you know, I do feel dirty talking about him like this. But maybe again he's sort of be better for a club like, I don't know, Brentford or Villa or whatever. But for a West Ham side where we want to be, maybe not.
Yeah, true. As you know, I'm a big fan. I just don't think he's been at the races. I think he's a very, very important player to the team or the squad when he's in the team. But yeah, he's just not done it this year. We just saw a chance a moment ago come across. Caused a fair bit of trouble in the box. I don't know, it sort of ended up with
Ronaldo with his arms around Antonio.
Given
given a penalty recently, haven't we?
Yeah, we have indeed. And interestingly, we seem to see more of Craig Dawson in the Man U box than any other West Ham player in the second half. And I suppose that's indicative of something anyway. But we've just seen another yellow card. It's Tilo Kehrer who's gone in the book this time.
This ref's getting ridiculously card happy.
Well, it's a little shirt pull on Casemiro. There's not much in it. But anyway, yeah, as you say, he's quite happy to book West Ham players. I should just point out, by the way, we haven't thrown Noam off. He also appears to be experiencing some streaming issues this afternoon because he's disappeared. We sort of saw him doing something with his phone just before he went. So I don't know if he'd run out of battery or what, but hopefully we can get him back before the end of the stream. So it's Nick and myself once again. At your leisure, pleasure. I'm going to move across, actually. Oh, not down there.
And to be fair, the quality of your stream's improved now since Noam's gone. Maybe he was the jinx.
Maybe that is interesting. Maybe he had something to do with it. Maybe the stream's not used to having 3 people on it.
He's just stealing our bandwidth. Oh, hello. Stop talking about him now. He's back.
Sorry, there's a power problem with my phone. Seems to have been sorted now.
Called it. Let me get you on the main page now. Hang on a second. Let's get you back. Let's resize you and get you up to scratch. You haven't missed much while you've been away anyway. We did have a sort of minor opportunity.
Yeah, I've been watching the game. It's just my phone was the issue.
throw things
So we made a sub in case no. Oh, hang on. We made a sub. Fornells is on for Downs, and also Kara picked up a yellow for. I think the accepted phrase is taken one for the team. He got caught pulling somebody back when they'd hit a long ball on the break. So,
it's just seen it again. We were just saying, Noam, before you come back, we're looking a little bit better, but there's nothing in the the delivery's poor today. We're just not testing the goalkeeper, and there's clearly an issue here, isn't there, chaps? That after 3 or 4 or 5 games, you think, well, maybe it's just a poor start, but I think after 13 games, you've got to actually look at something a little bit deeper in terms of being problematic within the squad, within the training, whatever it is. But you mentioned earlier about how many shots we'd had against Bournemouth, and I think it was something like 80 shots in the 4 games at home prior to,
sorry, just brilliant tackle from Kara.
We're still getting in the game before that against Fulham. I think it was about 3 or 4 out of 20. So we're something missed there anyway. Not good. We're in the final 10 anyway.
Yeah. We've just had a good opportunity there, although again desperately headed clear when Antonio was winding up for his well, that could have been 1-1 there. Antonio did really well to shield the ball, held the ball up, turned in, pile drive with a shot from outside the box, going in, fine save to tip it over from De Gea. Great play from Antonio there. Now that should encourage them, if nothing else, forced to save. Bit more of that, please. Corner to West Ham on our right-hand side. Again, no, it's we don't get anybody on it. Well played by Benrahma. I anticipate the header. Plays out of Cresswell. Nodding in. Oh, and another save from De Gea. It's a great save when your defenders come along and pat you on the back. Another one that was going in. Cross in from Cresswell there. And let's see who's on the end of it, actually. Zuma basically got on the end of it. Again, a one-handed save, a fine save. We're having chances now. This is looking a bit better. And Manchester United looking very, very iffy at the moment. A bit more urgency, and suddenly things are beginning to work out for us. Just
work out when that onion bag ripples, no?
Yeah. Just a little bit more luck in front of goal there, and but it's so the fact that De Gea has been worked ought to encourage him. Now I think Zuma's down here, and Zuma's been caught there. Now when a long throw was taken in, it was nodded on, and after that, I mean, difficult to see what happened, but nodded on there by Dawson. Zuma got a foot on it and just got caught. Got caught there. It's one of those ones where you get caught by the defender as you take the shot, and you follow through. You get caught by the follow through. But just showing this De Gea save again. Zuma's got a marvellous header on it, and that's one of the best saves you'll ever see. That's the difference at the moment.
Now, this is interesting. I'm looking at this Zuma incident again.
Should be a penalty.
Is there a case for a penalty there?
Yep.
It's a late challenge.
Well,
no contact with the ball.
That is
I mean, you're never going to get it at Old Trafford, but it's one of those ones where, I'll be honest, I've seen Jermaine Defoe sent off for a challenge like that. We're playing for us. I mean, one of those ones where you get kicked on the follow through, but no, that's a lovely ball from Antonio. Finds Benrahma out on the touchline. He's Again, tries to play it down the line for Antonio, but hadn't quite kept up enough. And Zuma comes across, does the first job, which is to nullify the danger. Doesn't quite keep it in, but the first job was to nullify the danger there. But West Ham last 5. There are signs. There are signs.
West Ham racking up the shot count now. 10 in total now. 3 on target. 3 out of the last 4. I think that is on target now.
Yeah. Taking us 80 odd minutes to get our sort of sighters in, but
yeah, again.
Close it down. Man United hit the post, and we got a goal kick out of it in the end. But looking at again though, the cross coming in from over on that right hand side, the diagonal, and
leaving his players to hold out for this next
it's again that diagonal from the right hand side though. Fred got on the end of it. That was who it was. At last. We got a free kick because Antonio's had a 2-handed shove in his back. Not the first one he's had in his back, not the first one, but it's the first one that's been given. So I guess we had to wait 86 minutes for it, but we'll take it. Now Rice has a shot, and it's another one deflected. It's one of those ones that hits somebody, loops up and goes over and wide. Again, could have gone anywhere after the deflection. Works out another corner. So we're beginning to push. This is much, much, much better. Corner on the right hand side. Bowen's going to take this one. Let's see where this one goes. And again, crowd of players, but it's a Man United. It's a red shirted player gets his head on the ball and they puff it long clear. Ronaldo handles that and gets away with it. I don't think anyone saw it, but and it's back with Areola now, and West Ham can go again. The problem there was, again, it's happened a few times where we had a player on the ball. Declan Rice had the ball there and was looking and had absolutely no options ahead of him. And Antonio tries to turn his player, but loses out. Really should have done better there and held it up and brought other players in, try to take the player on. So didn't, but we got the ball back because it goes through to Areola. Well, 2 and a bit minutes left. Come on, West Ham.
Yeah, time running out. One more chance, maybe 2 if we're lucky. But got to make it count now, West Ham.
Yeah, there won't be an awful lot of stoppage time. Couple of substitutions, maybe 3 minutes at the max. But, Ben Rama's moved over to the right-hand side now and is again plays it far too tight into the player on the box, and Man United can bring it away again. And that's great play from Zuma. Whoever it was, Man United played it a step too far, and Zuma bided his time and just slid in, took the ball away. We can go again. We're looking sort of. It's a shame there's only 2 minutes or so to go, but we're looking to sort of really, really push forward now. There's a little bit more urgency about us. And Bowen goes on this long, mazy run that takes him from the right-hand side to the left. Gets caught by Fernandez, and hooray, yellow card. I'm not sure where Bowen was going, but it was just a blatant, I'm going to trip you up from Fernandez. Yeah. Challenge. Which is, that's interesting. Fernandez is 5th yellow, and he keeps doing that. I can see why. So, ball halfway inside the Manchester United half, left of centre. And everybody's lined up on the 18-yard box line. Ball played in as everyone scatters. And again, it's a Man United head that gets on the end of it. We're not winning these headers. And Rashford back in a sort of left back slot, helping out. And again, they play it long and forward. And Cresswell does well there. Feigns to head it, which this season, Man United player then ducks in and retrieves the ball. Benrahma's back on the left now, so I don't know what that couple of minutes over on the right was all about, but he's moved back over there. So
3 minutes added on. Anyway, 3 extra minutes. That's all we've got. I'll put one back.
Yeah. Bowen forces a corner again, a lost looking cause, but gets down the byline, gets a sort of attempted cross in, and it's blocked out for a corner. So, can we do it? Big guns are coming up. Up comes Zuma.
Corner number 9.
Yeah. So, the second half has been much, much better. But, you know, if you go 1-0 down, you're always chasing, aren't you? Right. Corner comes across from Bowen. Again, loads of people at the near post. It's not finding the big guns that are there. And Man United bring it away, but it's a long ball that goes straight through to Areola. So 1.5 minutes left. It's launched long, but that's not going to do anything, is it? That's just ducked underneath, and it goes straight through to De Gea, who will no doubt take half an hour to do anything with this. Man United are desperately pointing at their watches at the referee. You can see, which says a lot, given that it shows how much we've been attacking in the last 10 minutes or so. So, interestingly, Sky have given Rashford man of the match. Guess he scored the goals. No, 4-0. Gets down the byline. Can he get a cross in? Oh! That should have been 1-1. We got the shot in and it was blocked. Come on, half a minute left. We've had chances to get something out of this game. We really have. And Benrahma turns his man, goes straight off. De Gea saved them again. If they're going to give anyone man a match in Manchester this evening, De Gea will get it. Lovely run from Benrahma, stopped by Maguire. Rice, another curling shot. De Gea turns it round. Earlier on, we had that they're just showing the shot, and it was Bowen scuffed his shot. A scramble after the corner, and Benrahma sort of goes, and that's it. It's a final whistle. Frustrating. And the Man United players to a man are going round running at De Gea. Basically, that says it all, I think.
I've got to say, after everything we saw in that game, we were sitting there saying how poor West Ham had been and how few chances we'd had. Every shot we had on target after Benrahma's had our first one on 69 minutes was an absolute belter. Zuma header, Antonio shot, and that last one from Rice. That's a fantastic save. But anyway, it's finished. Manchester United 1, West Ham United 0. Predictably, again, perhaps West Ham started absolutely dreadfully, came back into the game in the end and almost forced a point. But, it's once again, it's a case of too little, too late, Nick. And here we are with defeat number 7
Absolutely.
after 13 games.
We can't turn up for the last 10, 15 minutes of games hoping we're going to get something out of it. Where was that team for the rest of the 90 minutes? Don't get me wrong, it showed good character that we plugged at it for those last 10, 15 minutes and stoppage time. But what was going on for the rest of for the previous part of the game? We've obviously had it in us. We played like that all game. All right, we couldn't. I'm being flippant. You're not going to keep that up all game. But nonetheless, where was that performance for the previous 75 minutes, 80 minutes? Questions have got to be asked, because we were lacklustre throughout the whole game until that last bit. Why are we only turning it on in the last minutes when against teams like Man United, when there are, and not just Man United, you know, throughout the league, because you know the dodgy refereeing decisions that got us the goals against Fulham and Bournemouth and stuff has glossed over the fact that without them, you know, again we would have struggled to score. De Gea kept a minute today. He was, as Noam said, he was their man of the match. But questions have got to be asked. Why have we only managed to turn it on for 15 minutes in that game? Why? I've got no idea, and I don't think the manager has either.
No, you got any answers to that one?
Yeah, I mean, there's two things there. There's one that why don't we play like we did in the last? I'd say it's a bit longer than that, 25 minutes, I think, really. We should be going forward, and I thought we were a better side much of the second half. But why don't we play like that? Why do we start dreadfully? Why don't we play like that for much of the game? Yeah, you know, it's perhaps have the halftime team talk before the match. And yeah. But the second thing is that when we do turn it on, you know, the ball's not going in, and you know, we could have had 3-4 in that second half in that last 20 minutes. Why is the ball not going in? Okay, when you got De Gea making 3 absolute world-class saves, I suppose, you know, I suppose you can legislate for that. But things like, yeah, the scuffed shots, you know, it's got to change in front of goal someday. It's got, it really has. But yeah,
well, it's interesting you say that. I mean, you say it's luck, but you know, it's as Nick pointed out earlier, that's 11 goals we've scored in 13 games. That's pretty appalling, isn't it, Nick? In terms of, and we've spent a lot of money in attacking players. Let's you know,
we have. I mean,
about the
11
bush.
versus 26 for this time
there today.
Last season. You know, you look at the stats for this game, and they don't really tell the story of the game. 53-47 to Man United, 16-13 shots to Man United, 3-4 on target to us, 10 corners compared to 5 Man United, and 12 fouls to 10. You look at that, and you'd think it was a much tighter game. But being straight, but you know, a half and a bit, and a flurry at the end. We never look like being in it, even though the stats will say different. But I'd say most of that has come in the last 20 minutes.
I disagree there. I disagree with you there, Nick, mate.
Good.
I thought that second half and the last 25 minutes in particular, I thought we really were in it. It was just that my annoyance with the fact that we should have been in it in the first half as well. But I thought that second half, it was. I mean, I know a lot of the stuff came at the end in the late flurry, but I thought we were doing well throughout that 25 minutes.
We did well in the second half. I'm not really, you know, arguing against that. It's
I thought we were in that till the end.
It's the lack of chances we created still. We played well in the second half, but it wasn't until that late flurry that we were creating chances again. And that seems to be the story of our season.
I guess you defined late. I mean, I think we had chances before that the De Gea, 2 of those De Gea saves were with about quarter of an hour left, weren't they?
Yeah. Three of them. We had one. I think it was about.
Then the one right at the very end, which was right, you know, and you know, I thought we were in that right up till the final whistle, to be honest.
Yeah, but our first shot on target weren't until beyond 70 minutes, which again, that just sums up our season. We ain't going to win games.
Yeah,
because Man United.
Why did we do that earlier? That's the thing. But
Man United ain't no great shapes.
Yeah, my comment was on you didn't think we were in it, and I thought that we were.
Can I just say, gentlemen, can I just come in and say that I thought, on a positive note, a player who
And he's gone.
criticism lately, I thought Mikhail from on. Have you lost me? Can you hear me?
Get back now.
Yeah, we can now. Yeah, there was just a bit of Norman Collier and Hawking again.
Mikhail Antonio. Thought he was absolutely tremendous when he came on the pitch.
Yep, I'll dig him out when he ain't doing too well, and he gave us a bit of impetus, and he did extremely well. That's all there is to say, really.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, going back to your conversation you were having there, gents, if you can hear me, I think that the thing is, it now kind of gives Moyes that excuse to go into the press conference and say, you know, we were absolutely terrific. We were pushing all the way at the end. When, let's be honest, for 65 minutes, his team weren't at the races. There's something fundamentally wrong, whether it's the way we set up, whether it's the players' attitudes, whether they're not, whether there's a morale issue. But for some reason, we're not starting games against clubs like this, and not just clubs like this. It's away from home. Southampton would say. We're not starting it with the intention of going at it or apparently thinking that we can win these games. And it's only when we fall behind and sides tend to drop back a little that we seem to go for it. And it's been a constant issue this season.
I just take issue with one sort of point I think you say there is that back in the day when we weren't persona non grata at press conference and things like that, I've been to enough of them to know that I don't think that Mr. Moyes will gloss over that. He will obviously say, I thought we were worth the point, because I think palpably we were.
Yeah,
but,
we were.
He'll answer the question that he's asked. But I think he's actually got a bit more honesty in that and say, if asked the right question, he'll say something along the lines of, "We're disappointed with the way we started the game." And we came back into it strongly towards the end, which is, it's what happened.
But it's happening.
If we hadn't had that spell at the end,
no, that's the point. You're right. I mean, yes, he would have the.
Because it's like, oh well, like it's an excuse. Well, no, I think that's a fair and honest thing to say. That we didn't start well and we got better, and at the end we probably deserved a point. But if it hadn't been for their keeper, we'd have had one. And I think that's a fair summary of the game, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I'll tell you what.
Yes, he needs to address that first half and the fact we don't start. And that's something that needs to be addressed. But as a summary of the game, I think that'd be a fair thing to say. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I'll tell you what, we're going to wrap it up there because my broadband is suffering terribly today, as you will be aware if you've been watching the stream. So next up, Palace next, I think. Thursday, Palace at home next. And it's one of them. We're calling it a day. That's it. Enough's enough. We're going to be back on Thursday night for FCSB. Thanks to DL. Thanks to Noam for joining me on the stream. Thank you to everyone for your comments. I notice it's getting a little bit lively down there in the comments. Behave yourselves. Come on.
But before you go, I haven't done it today.
We'll be back.
Do your Matt Jarvis. The thumbs up. Give a like. Down that way. No, that way. That way, I think. Yeah, it's that way somewhere. That way, below. Give a like. Helps us out with YouTube and the algorithm and all that sort of caper. So, yes.
So professional,
do the thumbs up, do the subscribe, click the bell, do whatever as all the cool kids do. And in the meantime, come on your eyes.
Well,
Enough. We can help to report sexual assault. There are many ways.